Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Welcome to the Enter The Fangirls podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Lexie, and we're two girls with a slight obsession of everything pop culture.
We're talking about Stranger Things, season 4.
It's about Sam time.
Literally. Well, for you.
Yeah.
I just watched it
I
last
waited
week.
I waited for 2019. It's fine.
I'm so sorry. I'm like sitting here like after I finished it, I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I don't know what to watch now. Meanwhile, the new season was coming out like 5 days later.
It like kind of went by fast considering like COVID like took off 2 years of my life and like but 2019, 3 years.
I think that's why I lost interest in the show to begin with, because they took so long to come out with.
Season.
Yeah.
I was still in college. I remember my senior year, 2017, watching the second season.
Did it come out? When did it come out?
Probably 20.
I feel like it's 2015 or 2016, yeah.
Probably 2016. I definitely wasn't still in high school, so.
I was.
You were probably in middle school.
No, I was not. I can tell you what age I was. It came out, the first episode came out in 2016. I was 15, thank you very much. When did season 2? Season 2 came out a year later?
Yeah, they were quick.
Wow.
Well, then it became 2 years, and then it became 3.
That blows.
Yeah, it does.
Like, why?
But you know what?
I think they know, though, they have the fan base that they can take as long as they need. So.
But, like, also take as long as you want if you're going to deliver a season 4, because
oh yeah,
shit was wild.
I mean, we can talk about, do you have a ranking for each of them?
I genuinely cannot rank it because I don't remember.
That's true. You need to do like a little quick rewatch.
It's not quick. It's like days.
Oh, it took me like no time.
But like, I have stuff to do and it's summer.
I have stuff to do too.
I know.
Kinda.
Sit outside and go to the beach.
Tough life, Lex.
You know. I'm trying to what? Season 1 came out. You said 2016?
Yeah. And then 2017, and then 2019. Ago. That doesn't feel right, but it is true.
Is it really 6 years ago?
Yeah, that's 6 years ago.
No, it does not feel like that at all. At all.
I feel like a different person.
Yeah. I remember
when I watched season 1, like, it made me scared. Like, it made me jump so many times. And now I'm, like, watching this, I'm like, totally fine. Like, it's just, like, I just grew.
Yeah.
But we didn't really know how we were going to break this down. We decided that the best way to do it is kind of how we did the Wilds review.
Yeah.
Where we break it down. We broke that one down into the 2 groups and then the modern day stuff. This one we're doing it in, because everyone's apart.
Like somewhere else.
Yeah, so they're all in different crews is what everybody's kind of referred to them as. So we have the California crew, the Hawkins crew, and the Russia crew, and then 11.
Yes.
So that's how we're going to be doing it. I don't know where we really start with it. Like, do we start with California? California has the least to cover.
Yeah, but
surprisingly.
Then should we go to 11 from there, or should we go from Russia to California to 11 to Hawkins?
Yeah, maybe go Russia, California, Hawkins, 11.
Okay.
I feel like 11 we need to like save for last because she leads into the ending.
Yeah, Hawkins and 11 are kind of going to go a little bit.
Yeah, we're just have to put those together.
Yeah, some of it at least.
Yeah, everything feels very separate, which I think is what has made me. I liked this season. Don't get me wrong, but it feels so different from the other ones, and I think it's because they're all so separate. Like, literally, some of them are in California, some of them are in Indiana, and some of them are all the way in Russia.
It's a whole different continent.
Yeah. So, and wherever the hell 11 is, I don't know where the...
Nevada,
okay. Do we just want to start? This is going to be a long episode. We put on our Twitter, would you guys rather a long episode or split into two? And it was a unanimous...
long episode.
Yeah, long episode. This is a long episode. Apologize in advance.
I'm not even apologizing. You guys wanted the 2 hour long episode.
Yeah, no, you wanted the long one. So that's what
it's going to be the length of episode 7. It's going to be an hour 42-minute episode.
That was what our last episode was, so I feel like this one might be longer.
Our last episode was an hour 42 minutes.
Our last episode was an hour 40 something.
The TV show challenge.
Yeah. We talked a lot about those first 2 shows.
Okay.
And then we went on a rant at the end.
Yeah, sounds alright. Okay, let's just get into it then.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, like we said, starting off in Russia, I guess.
Well, no, technically we're starting off in California.
But I think like it's easier. I think the Russia storyline is the most separated from everything else.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because I don't know, it just feels so different. And maybe that's just because everything is so warm toned in all the other ones, and this one is just so cool and cold.
Yeah. I mean, they actually don't even know where they are. Like, the kids, they think that she's in Alaska for
a business
conference for, what is she trying to sell? Encyclopedias? Like...
Yeah, no, she's like Joey in that one episode of Friends when he gets sold the 2 things, and then he's having the conversation with everybody. He's like, do you want to talk about World War II?
Yeah.
Like all this, just because he only has like the W and like the V or something like that. Yeah. That's what she's selling, and I kind of love that for her.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But yeah, so we start off. Technically, this storyline, I guess, does start off in California because
that's where Joyce is.
That's where Joyce is. But we see her doing her thing, doing her job, and then she gets a knock on the door. And there's a package for her with 20 stamps. And I think they're from Russia.
Yes, they are from Russia.
They're from Russia.
I think the Russian flag at the time, the Soviet... I suck at history. I don't know if there's still the Soviet Union on at this time. Yeah. But the flag of Russia is on the stamps, and she's like...
No, because if I ever go missing... Make sure Joyce Byers is on my case, because she will not rest until they find a body.
No.
Even if they do find a body, that girl goes in. And I you know what? I appreciate it. She would make a great detective.
She would.
Yeah. But yeah, so she gets the package, and when she opens it up, there's like a doll. Is it like a Russian nesting doll? Is that what they're called?
No, I think it's just a Russian doll.
Okay. So naturally, she calls Murray.
Yeah.
Our resident American Russian.
Oh, Murray.
I love him.
So funny.
Yeah.
He's just so funny.
He's so funny. Even that, like, TikTok you sent me of, like, the actual, like, actor at that party killed me.
Vibing.
He's having the time of his life on this show, and I love that for him. But yeah, so she calls Murray. And he tells her, he's like, okay, you need something heavy, and you need to go outside. And then we get this scene where Joyce is in goggles and dish gloves and is sawing a freaking paint can up a tree.
Wait, I love how that she thought that was going to protect her from explosives.
No, right? Yeah, because Murray's like, there could be explosives in there. Meanwhile, her, like, neighbors across the street are, like, staring at her like she's insane. Like, just imagine living next door to this woman.
I'd love it, though.
Oh, it'd be so entertaining. Like, I would always sit on my porch just to see what the hell she's up to.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so then, I think she drops her phone and also drops a paint can at the same time. And Murray is, like, freaking out on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
At this point, which had me... Yeah, I was dying over. He's like, he was convinced she was dead. And then she picks up, she's like, what? I don't know. Those two were such an unexpected pairing, and I loved it.
They're so freaking.
Like, I know we saw, like, a bit of them in season 3, but, like, they were so funny together here, like, just one-on-one.
Just too chaotic.
They're so chaotic. And it's great. But yeah, so then Marie flies all the way to California. What does she find in there?
It's a note about going to Enzo's at 8 o'clock, and she's like, but Murray's convinced, like, that, or
yeah, he thinks it's a ransom note.
Which it is. No, it is a ransom note.
Yeah, but I think he says it's like a ransom note, as in, like, they just want money. He's already dead, kind of thing. You saw him die. Okay. He says to her.
Oh yes.
Can we also just talk about the fact that Hopper mentioned the date because he knew that's what Joyce would remember? They got me so bad. But just, like, as soon as I saw the Enzo's thing, I'm like, okay, this is fine. Everything's fine. I'm totally fine. I'm crying, but in a cool way.
Just so cute.
If I don't get anything in this show, all I want is for them to go on their damn date.
Please. Well, I mean, we're getting the make out, so
we are. Thank you so much, David Harbour. We are filming this, like, hours after that clip freaking aired of him saying they're gonna make out.
I really forgot what the full note said, but I mean, it was something along the lines about, like, their date at Enzo's, and Joyce is like, no.
It said Hop is alive.
Yeah.
Looking forward to date at Enzo's. Make reservation at this number. And it's
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That note just, like, really got me.
As it should, because, I mean, we all knew Hopper didn't die, but, like, kind of seeing him, how he escaped, actually, was definitely interesting, because I thought he kind of blew up into a different universe, like, time travel.
Yeah, no, because how he survived that is kind of beyond me, but, like, once you see it, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I kind of get it, but also how?
Yeah. Zero idea. But yeah, so they call Enzo, which is a payphone in Russia.
Also, Murray's like, he's like recording this call or something like that.
He's trying to track it.
Right.
Yes.
I love Murray.
I love how they
women for Murray.
Yes, please. Woman just for every person on the show, basically.
Oh my god, yeah, we'll get there.
But I love how that he was trying to track a call in 1986.
Show's ahead of its time.
But, like, then again, like, Murray's, like, half Russian. So I'm sure the Russians were way ahead of our time.
I missed that in season 3. Is he, like, half Russian, or does he just know Russian?
Couldn't tell you.
Either way, love that for him.
The fact that he speaks Russian, I'm calling him half Russian.
Okay.
Because that's more than anyone else of them know.
You know, he's just really good at this whole Russian thing. Like, if he isn't half Russian and he just knows it, he's amazing. He's fluent.
Yes.
Yeah, so they tell the kids they're going on a business trip to Alaska, apparently to sell encyclopedias. Because why do you need to go to Alaska to sell encyclopedias? I don't know. They're not questioning it.
So the call, we didn't talk about what happened in the call.
Right, yeah.
So,
I'm telling you, what this episode is going to be, just all over the place.
Yes. So, the Enzo, which we find out his name is Dimitri, he picks up the phone and says, like, we need $40,000, you're going to bring it to this location, whatever. And I remember that there was, like, the lady talking Russian in the background. Oh, maybe that's where they figure out where Hopper is.
That's how they figure out where Hopper is, because of the lady in the background.
Okay. So.
Because he, like, kind of recorded it, I guess, like, when he's tracking it, so they can play it back a bunch of times.
Uh-huh. So.
Yeah, if you're trying to have a top secret call, why would you do it in a payphone?
That's not traceable to your exact location.
Fair, okay.
So Joyce obviously decides to go get the $40,000.
Yeah, no.
To go save the love of her life, as she
should.
No,
Murray is like, Joyce, we're not going. And she's like, no, we are going. We are leaving, and we're going to save Hop. And he's like, where are you going? She's like, to get $40,000.
Don't think.
Again, I want her on any case ever.
Stop. Yes. So them getting to Alaska is also hilarious, because they're like, welcome to Alaska. It's just fucking snowing. Like, from sunny California California to
Oh my god, it's
Alaska.
probably such a culture shock.
Yeah. And that's where they meet. Do they meet Yuri there, or do they meet him at a location?
They meet Yuri at a location.
Okay.
I don't remember how they get to Yuri though.
Me either. This is where I start to get confused of Yuri and Dimitri.
No, this is where I just start to get confused because like everything looks the same.
Yes.
In this. Everything is snowy, everything is dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm gonna try to figure this out.
No, you're fine. Well, while you're figuring that out, we'll touch what's Hopper's going on. So Hopper is currently held prison by Russians. And it seems like maybe there's some other Americans there, or there were other Americans there. They have now died. So he's trying to find ways to like escape, but like obviously he kind of put some faith in Dimitri like to help him escape.
So sorry, I'm just interrupting real quick. Apparently here it says Hopper made his escape only for Yuri to sell him, Dimitri, Joyce, and Murray.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure what happens where they meet Yuri is they go to like his auto shop or something like that, and he's fixing the plane, and they meet him, they give him the money, and he's like takes them captive. He gives them coffee and he drugs them, and they fall asleep, and then he kidnaps them. And
while this is happening, he also calls the Russian jail to like let them know that Dimitri's a spy.
Yeah, so that's where they're selling him out. Okay, so that's how they meet him. So we're back on track.
Also at one point, like Hopper escapes, but then they find him eating peanut butter in something that Yuri is.
Can we talk about that scene?
Like, don't remember anything that happened in Russia. It's so bad.
Listen, Hopper has always been cute. He's always been cute. Very, like, teddy bear kind of cute, you know?
Yeah.
Very Dilfy. It was here where it really, really clicked for me when he freaking dives into the peanut butter and licks it off his fingers. I'm like, okay.
Everyone's talking about Miles Teller and Top Gun. Why aren't we not talking about David Harper licking peanut butter off his fingers?
I don't know. But, like, that got me. That really got me. Thank you, David Harbour, for that.
So cute.
I don't know, man. Also, he was just like so happy to eat peanut butter.
He was just to have like
so
normal
sad.
Food. Yeah,
it is so sad. That scene was great though. I think it should win an Emmy. Most erotic eating scene for David Harbour. David Harbour, here is your honorary Emmy. Your Enter the Fangirls Emmy.
Can we do that?
Can we do that?
Okay, when Emmy season comes, we'll do something.
Y'all, would you be down for an Enter the Fangirl award show? Actually, the podcast I watched, Dead Meat, they just did the Dead Meat Awards, and they, like, honored, like, best cinematography, best actor in horror movies, and I think we should do that.
No, okay, we're doing it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we'd have to do it, like, at the end of the year, though, I think.
Like, mid-year, like, during award season.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay.
Great.
But David Harbour,
you already won.
Yeah, you're the first recipient of the Enter the Fangirls Award.
Yes.
You're so welcome. For sexiest eating scene.
Okay. So
can we get him on the podcast?
I would love that.
Would he come talk to us? I think we'd have a blast.
We would.
We'll let you talk about anything you want. That is my pitch to every celebrity I want on this podcast. You can come on here and talk about anything you want.
Yeah.
Anything. I promise you the Twitter fan base will blow this up.
We'll be fine.
Okay. We'll be good. But yes, back on track. Yeah, Yuri's a fraud, sells them out to the Russian owner, head person of the prison.
Yeah.
Hopper escapes, and then he's caught again.
He's caught, and him and Dimitri go into, like, jail.
I really like Dimitri also.
His story was so sad.
Right? Like, at first I was like, I don't trust him that much. And then, like, as it went on, I'm like, okay, no. I trust you. Isn't cool. Dimitri a prison guard, and then he's arrested with...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It flips between him being caught and Hopper being caught, I think.
Yeah, so, like, Yuri's on the phone with Dimitri, and like the Russian guards are trying to like find him, and like
Yeah.
David's already not David Hopper has already escaped.
Hopper. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So then I can't really remember what like if there's anything. Okay. No. I guess it is kind of important here. Joyce and Murray, like we said, were drugged and kidnapped by Yuri on the plane.
In Alaska.
In Alaska. And then so on the plane, Yuri says that he transports peanut butter because you can't buy it in Russia.
Sure.
You can't buy it somewhere. I think it must be Russia because he's flying them to Russia.
Yeah.
So he buys it for like a certain amount and sells it for 20 a jar.
Uh-huh.
So like that's his whole thing. And Joyce, like, they're on it. There's like a big box of peanut butter and she knocks it over and it breaks, obviously. So then she gets one of the shards and she's like sawing herself out of the ropes, sawing Murray out. And that's when Yuri finds out, like sees them.
Yeah.
And there's like a struggle there, and I don't fully know how this ends.
They crash.
They crash. Because Joyce is like, don't knock him out. Whatever you do, don't knock him out. Because Murray, if you didn't know, we forgot to mention this, is a black belt. And then while they're having this conversation, he's like, says something, and she's like, how old was this kid that you fought? He's like, 13. He's like, but he was really strong for his age.
Oh my god.
So then he's like fighting with him, and Joyce is like, whatever you do, just don't knock him out. Like, he's our pilot. He knocks him out.
Yeah.
So then they're trying to fly this plane, but obviously they don't know how. Then they're trying to like pull up on the plane, and then they crash.
They crash in the Russian wilderness.
They crash
kind of
surprisingly well for a TV show.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just me having watched Yellow Jackets, so not expecting a plane crash to turn out well.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, they do pretty well. And then, yeah, Murray goes looking for help, but doesn't find anything. And I think...
When do they switch? Is it when they get to the church, like Murray and Yuri? Oh my god.
They have their whole conversation too. But yeah, I think that's when it is. I think they go back to that, and no, they tie him up. They tie him up at a tree, and they're like, "You're either gonna help us get to the prison, or we're gonna leave you here." And he's like, "You're not gonna kill me." They're like, "No, we won't kill you, but we'll leave you here, and some animals will get you."
Yeah.
And then Murray is like, "I think I heard a growl," and Joyce is like, "A growl," and like she's trying to taunt him while Murray's taunting him. And it just solidifies that these two make such a fun pair.
They do.
I really love it.
Can do.
But yeah, so then Yuri obviously agrees. He's like, okay, yeah, no, I'll come with you. And this is Murray decides that they're gonna switch places.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be Yuri. Yuri's gonna be Murray. And so Murray pretends to have those two as hostages. And that's how they get into the prison, because they're still expecting the hostages to come and be prisoners.
Because Americans are worth more.
Yeah. So yeah, then we get to the prison. Oh, and around here, right before they get to the prison, I think this is in the same episode. So in the end of season 3, we hear a Demogorgon growling.
Yes.
And it comes back here because the Russians have kept this Demogorgon and is using it in the prison. And it's just like locked up all the time. But there's like this big like arena almost. And I think it's Dimitri who says it, who like tells Hopper what's going on. That like one night he saw like all these guys. Oh, because they get invited to a feast.
Yeah, it's like their last supper kind of situation.
And Hopper realizes that like pretty soon in. Because someone at the table was like, I once saw these guys go in, they came out, all was fine, but then they went and they had to fight this thing and none of them made it out alive. So obviously Hopper knows exactly what that is. And he's a smart man. So he like hides a bottle of alcohol, and he also has a lighter, because he knows that the Demogorgon doesn't like fire.
No, I think he gets the lighter after. I think he gets the
vodka but he has like first. The alcohol first, yeah.
Yeah, because he acts like he got sick off the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
But yeah, so then Hopper's like, we're not here to fight this thing. We're here to feed it.
Yeah.
Like, the only way you're gonna survive this, like, he's afraid of fire. That's literally the only thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then as Hopper predicted, they're all put into this arena. And then we get another scene. I'm here to represent the Jopper fandom here, I guess. But you see that they're like Joyce and Murray and all of them come out, and then you just see Joyce like notice that Hopper's on the ground, and her reaction just like she really thought she was about to watch him die for real here.
Yeah.
And like you can't do anything while you're up there. You can't like freak out about it. I think this is where the episode might end. Does it end here? Like,
No,
end for that
they
storyline?
fight. No, they fight in the 7th episode.
Okay. So yeah, they fight it. Did the Demogorgon always look like this? It looked so weird here. I feel like it's maybe because it's in better lighting.
No, that's what it looked like. Oh, it looks like a Venus flytrap or like an ant.
It's not even that. It's the body. I'm like.
It's like a human.
Yeah, it's so.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think it just like when it killed Bob, it didn't have as good of lighting, so like I couldn't notice how weird it looks.
Yeah.
But here it looks fully weird, and they try to do like a jump scare where they like zoom in on the.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is this the end of
yeah,
the
they like zoomed in and it went like black, and I'm just like, okay, and I'm like, so it must be like going on to the next scene, and then it didn't stop. I'm like, this bitch is gonna jump out, isn't he? And he does.
Okay.
And he's ruthless. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's kind of really scary.
Yeah,
and Hopper has trouble with his lighter, which I totally saw coming because he was playing with it earlier and blowing it out. I'm like, why are you wasting this?
Thanks. Yeah. Just like, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're trying to get the Demogorgon back in the cage, and Murray pulls a gun on the one guard.
The head guard, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, you open this door now, and they like get all the. Basically, Joyce pushes a bunch of buttons until they finally can finally get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I don't know what happens to the Demogorgon after that. He's just like chilling in the arena.
Yeah, no. So Dimitri and Hop go back in like the little dungeon where the Demogorgon was held.
Hell yeah, they do. Hell yeah, they do. And then they're like, oh great, out of one cage into another. But then the door opens. And Hopper, like, my favorite thing is he, like, has his, like, hands like this. Like, he's ready to fight somebody. And then he walks out, and Joyce is there. I cannot...
Such a good theme.
I cannot explain how happy this scene made me. Like, I knew it was coming because it was spoiled. Like, the second I woke up, like, I was going through and people were already like, I even muted Jopper and spoilers and everything, and I still saw it, and I'm like, damn. But like I didn't ever watch the clip, so like it was like my first time seeing the actual clip of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like she literally just like runs to him.
Yeah, and like she's on the verge of tears, and Hopper's like, what has just happened?
Oh yeah, no, he is shook.
Yeah. Like
she hugs him and he's just like staring, and then he like leans back and just like realizes it's her, hugs her again, and then smiles, and so cute.
It is.
I mean, that's the last we see of them, but like,
that's fine.
So it's so cute. I'm really mad we had to wait until episode 7 for a reunion. I
was waiting for it to be sooner, but whatever.
I know. It's totally fine. We get a lot of like little like hints about them and like little teases, but like I wanted more sooner. But like it was all worth it. It's like a solid minute long hug.
It's pretty long.
Because I rewatched it like 5 times.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. But yeah. But I mean, now we know they're gonna make out. Thank you, David Harbour. So I'm not too mad. I just don't want to wait until July.
It's only like a month. It's a month from tomorrow or Thursday.
Tomorrow.
That's not too bad. It's gonna fly.
But yeah, that's all for the Russia
storyline. That was very all over the place because
And
I'm
if that
also
took us
so
30 minutes to sum up.
I mean, I think California will take us maybe even shorter because
Oh,
not much
there's
happens
nothing
in Cali.
happens. I guess we'll just jump into that right away.
Yeah, so I mean, in Cali, obviously, at the end of season 3, Joyce, 11, Will, and Jonathan all move. And do we know they're going to California, or
I
we just
don't
know they
know.
move? Okay, they're
I
moving.
just know we moved.
So
It might have been mentioned.
yeah.
I don't really know.
So they wind up in California, and I think the first kind of thing we see is Elle's writing a note to Will.
Can we talk about this? I sent it to you. Netflix posted it, and it's like a quote, and it's a picture of Elle sitting in a room, and you can see the door open.
Oh, yeah.
And it's quote, and it says, "For the sake of your poor old dad, please leave the door open 3 inches." And the fact that she's still leaving the door open 3 inches when she thinks Hopper is dead, man.
The little things.
It
little
hurts.
things.
Like, this continuity in the show, especially 3 years later, is so good.
Yeah, it is.
It's really good.
Riverdale could never.
Riverdale could never. They need to get the Duffers on that show instead.
Yeah.
I want a Riverdale Stranger Things crossover.
That'd be everything.
I could see it happening. Instead of Rivervale, it's Strangervale.
Stop.
I mean, yeah. Is she working on a note, or is she working on her school project? No, it is a note because she's writing to Mike. Because she kind of like explains everything that's happened.
Yeah.
Like, Joyce is working from home.
Yeah.
Will is doing this. Jonathan is smoking this smelly plant. Like.
Yeah. But she's just straight up lying to Mike.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I feel like Mike is just an idiot for not realizing that she's lying because we all know, like, 11's different.
Yeah, no, Mike really should have known.
That she, like,
obviously he wants to have the benefit of the doubt for 11, but, like, not to discredit her because, like, it's not her fault, but she is awkward and she's different and she doesn't have many social skills.
Zero social skills.
Yeah, no, she has 0 social skills. And, like, in 8 months, is that really going to change much?
Nope.
I know she's moving to a whole new place, but, like, that's going to make it even more ridiculous. Yeah. People are not accepting new people. Yeah.
It's not like little old Hawkins, Indiana, where no one's heard of you. It's California.
And it's so hard to watch, too, because stuttering. The class project is to make a project or make a presentation on a hero. Yeah. And she chooses Hopper. And she makes like a little diorama.
Yeah.
And she's like, "This is my dad." And then she's like, "And this is his name Willard?" I don't know what the squirrel's name is.
Remember.
But she's like, "And this is so-and-so. He is a squirrel." And then everybody starts laughing at her. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Like, obviously she, like, I don't know. It's so hard because, like, we know that she isn't actually weird, but, like, they don't.
Yes.
And then they're so mean to her, and the one, like, the girl is just like, this was not the assignment. It's supposed to be about a hero. And Elle's like, "My dad is a hero. He's a hero for the people." And I'm like, yes, he is. He is a hero.
Yes. Stop.
And they break her diorama later.
Yeah, they do. They trip her.
They're so mean to her.
Yeah, no.
Like,
and
they could have just bullied her, but, like, they bully her.
Yeah, and it hurts more is because she's trying to fight back, but she doesn't have her powers, and then everyone laughs at her.
And she's so sweet, too. Like, she doesn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Like, she's literally just living her life. And then Will obviously, like, feels bad, but, like, he can't really do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then at that point, she tattletales on Angela, and Angela's not happy, but, like...
No, she doesn't tattletale on her.
Oh.
A teacher comes up and is like, "What happened?" And 11 doesn't say anything because she's scared of them, which, same. But then the teacher, like, knows. Like, she knows. So then Angela's like, "Tell her, Jane, tell her. Like, I didn't do anything." And it's like, no, bitch, you deserve this.
Yeah. Then I think that's like all we really see in the first episode, because then Will comes in the next episode. And also, so Nancy's supposed to, or is Jonathan supposed to be going to Hawkins?
He's supposed to be going to Hawkins.
Okay.
Or he was supposed to be going to Hawkins for spring break. And Nancy kind of, I don't know if he like backs, oh no, he does back out.
He does back out.
He tells her he backs out, but she still like expected him to like surprise her or something.
Okay, but.
And he didn't.
He claims he's waiting to get his admissions letter to Emerson?
Wherever Nancy's going.
Yeah. So.
But he reveals to Argyle that he actually isn't going there.
Yeah. See, I mean, honestly, I did not expect him to go there, but it's fine.
I know. But I'm just like, y'all need to have a little better communication. You fought literal monsters together.
Yeah.
Can't you just tell each other you're not going to the same college?
Fair.
Like, are you more scared of a little lover's quarrel than you are of a fucking Venus flytrap looking monster?
I guess so. But like Jonathan's awkward too.
I know. I like Jonathan a lot. I didn't love him this season, but we also didn't see much of him.
Yeah.
However, I love Argyle. He is quite possibly my favorite character. One of my favorites.
He's just vibing.
He's so funny. My favorite scene is when that like that guy dies. That guy gets shot. And they take him out to the desert, and he's like writing him a headstone on a pizza box. It's so funny. I think he's so funny.
He is.
Honestly, the people they introduce, like, I feel like when you introduce new characters into an already established show, it can go really wrong. But they did really good here.
They do really good with all of them. I mean, Sadie, came in season 2 and everyone fucking loves her.
And then, like, Eddie, who we'll talk about.
Yes.
Argyle. There's one other one. Oh, Chrissy. She was only there for one episode.
Oh, but people liked Chrissy.
I really liked her. I'm really sad she didn't make it. Spoiler alert. But yeah. I really like the characters. I love Argyle.
He's just vibing.
If anything bad happens to him,
I don't think they will. He has no idea what's going on.
No. And he's hilarious. Him and Jonathan are like Cheech and Chong now, and it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, Jonathan's a pothead now.
Very big one.
Something somehow Joyce doesn't know, even though she works from home. And the fact that Eleven knows and Joyce doesn't.
Whatever, man.
I mean, Joyce isn't always all there. But I love her. It's okay.
Not at all.
Oh, the only other thing that happens in the California is they go to Susie. But I guess
we didn't get to all of it yet.
Calm down, ma'am.
We'll get to Susie in a sec. Okay. We gotta talk about Will getting to Callie.
Oh, right.
Not Will, Mike. Why do I keep messing the two up?
You really do.
I know. So Mike gets to Callie, and like Elle acts like everything's fine, and Mike is just pushing off Will, which honestly, fuck you, Mike, for doing that.
No, Will deserves better friends.
Yeah, he does. I think Mike is the homophobic. I'm just gonna say it. Let's be real.
We don't know if Will's gay yet.
Okay, it's a little hinted. Like the girl tried to like brush his foot, and Will was like, "Hell no." Yeah. But you know, okay. When I was watching a recap, Mike said something that like, it's not my problem that you don't like girls, to Will.
Right.
So like, Mike's homophobic. Sorry. I mean, he wouldn't even hug him. I was like, all right.
No, it made me so sad. I'm like, Will deserves better.
He does. And then, so, does Elle give him presents? Or does Mike just give Elle presents?
I can't remember. He gives her a flower.
Flowers.
From Hawkins, which is admittedly cute. I still don't really like him.
Me either. And then Will also has a present for him, but doesn't give it to him because Mike is being a total fucking asshole.
I am dying to know what that painting is.
I know.
I think it's a painting of the two of them.
I
like,
really kind of hope it's
Mean Girls, like when Janice like drew her, Damien, and Katie. That's what I'm picturing.
But like, I hope it's not like a love portrait because
that'd be
Will.
awkward.
Yeah, no, I'm not here.
Like, I'm all for it.
Yeah. I'm all for Will
But
being
maybe
gay, but
not
being in
when-
love with Mike. No.
Not even that. Just maybe not Mike while he's still dating 11,
Yeah.
and he's still dating 11.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
But I do think Will has a thing for Mike.
No, please stop. Okay, we're moving on.
I think he deserves way better than Mike.
Yeah, no, we're.
You know what? Give me Dustin and Will.
No, Dustin and Susie all the way. Okay, we need
Okay,
to stop
actually,
talking
you know
about
what?
Will getting with his friends because I'm getting really uncomfortable. So at this point they go get burritos, and then they go to the skating rink.
They go to Wrinkle Mania.
And shit goes down.
In one of the best scenes of the series.
Yeah. So Angela shows up, and Mike thinks that like Angela and Elle are all
Elle
friends.
tells him that they're really good friends.
I mean,
Will is like, Elle,
what are you talking
no,
about?
you know you're not friends with them. Why don't you just tell him?
Yeah. Which she should have.
He would have understood too. Like.
Yeah. But instead, Elle gets embarrassed in front of literally everyone in California. And she gets like a milkshake thrown on her, and it's really sad, actually.
No, it's really sad.
But yeah, so then they kind of like, Will's trying to tell Mike that like things aren't good here. Mike's like, no, Elle wouldn't lie to me. And Will's like, no, like things suck here.
Yeah.
So
and then there's a fight between Mike and Will. Where Will tells Mike, he's like, ever since I moved to California, I feel like I've been abandoned. And Mike basically just tells him, no, don't be crazy, you're fine. Like, no, you have abandoned him. You abandoned him before he even left Hawkins.
Yeah.
After he got back from the Upside Down, like, they were still, like, they just kind of really cut him out. Will deserves better.
Yeah, he does. He does. I love Noah, too, so, like, deserves better. But we'll touch on Mike a little bit later, too. So what happens, since Elle doesn't have her powers, instead of using her powers to hurt Angela, this girl chucks a roller skate.
Does she even chuck it, or does she just walk up and smack her?
Smack her square in the nose.
Oh, it looks so painful, but it's so nice to see. It's so satisfying.
I don't think anyone.
You know what? Bullying is wrong. Except when it comes to Angela.
Yeah.
Then it's warranted.
Yes.
And then,
so, Angela's nose is, like, broken.
My favorite thing here is when someone's like, can you tell me where it hurts, sweetie? And I'm like, her nose is literally crooked. Where do you think it hurts?
Is, like, fully broken.
I'm like, where do you think it hurts?
Yeah. So then they go home, and then Elle and Mike have, like, a little bit of a fight. And Elle's like, you don't love me. Yeah. All your letters say from Mike. And I'm like, oh, okay. You don't deserve him anyhow. It's fine. Or he doesn't deserve you.
He doesn't deserve you.
So at this point also, cops show up to arrest Elle for
I put this in the 11 category, that's why I forgot.
Well, we'll touch a little bit.
This is still kind of the California crew. It's not even really the much.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Elle gets arrested. And yeah,
this kind of goes by in a blur.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of missed. We suck. We missed a lot, clearly. There's just so much. Like, every episode is over an hour. So trying to remember every little detail is a lot. Bear with us. But yeah, she gets arrested.
Yeah, so Mike, Will, and Jonathan, and maybe Argyle try to go get her out of jail.
Yeah, no, it's Argyle because Argyle's the one who has the car.
Yes.
The pizza van.
The pizza van, yes. So this is where they get separated, because Elle starts to go to juvenile detention. And yeah, so...
But then, I don't know how... Like, is there a crash or something?
No, they just are followed and are stopped.
Okay. And then she gets taken back by Dr. Owens.
Yes. And then...
Is this where we see Papa, or does Papa come in later?
Papa is only in the underground bunker.
Okay. So yeah, Dr. Owens is the guy from season 2 who was running the. It's not. Is it a lab? It's still a lab, right?
Yeah. It's
And they're trying to like explore the upside down and everything, and yeah, is the reason Bob dies. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
He's kind of the reason.
No, he is.
Yeah, so that's who he is.
Yeah, and then somehow 2 of like the guards then go back to Will and Jonathan's house and hold them captive.
Yeah, I think they're kind of just like meant to be watching them, but I don't really know why. I think just so they don't go try to find 11.
Yeah. So
really bad timing for Joyce to leave.
Just a little. So while Ella's being taken by Dr. Owens, Will, Jonathan, and Mike are being held captive by 2 cops, FBI agents, maybe.
Yeah.
And then so there's like a sergeant dude as well. Where did this guy come from? I don't know, but he wants 11 as well. And so they come raid Will and Jonathan's house and start shooting at him. Which is lovely.
It's insane.
Yeah. So, I mean, Will and Mike were trying to escape anyhow, and because they think the FBI agents are bad, but then they realize that maybe they're not that bad.
Yeah.
So one of them actually gets like shot and dies, or he's like dying. And then another one is like trying to shoot at the other guys and he gets hit. But then they get into Argyle's van and then they drive away.
Yeah.
And this FBI agent is saying something about Nina. And like, you need to call Nina. And he gives them a pen to write their number, Nina's number down. And the pen isn't working. And then he dies. So they're trying to figure out how to get to Ella and whatever. So they pull over to like a desert on the side of the road to bury this FBI agent. And freaking Argyle's trying to write a tombstone.
He
kills
me in this scene.
With their names on it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm like buried by Will, Jonathan, all them. And Jonathan's like, you want to put our name on this?
Yeah. So, but the pen's not working.
Yeah, he asked for a pen.
Mike's like, why would he give me a pen that doesn't work?
I'm sorry, Argyle's line here is my favorite too.
He's just comedic timing, man.
When Mike like opens the pen and shakes it and something falls out, Argyle's just like, something fell out of your pen, man. Oh
my God.
I don't know, he's so funny to me.
He is.
I just kind of love that kind of character. Just like has no idea what's going on.
No idea. But in it is like a phone number. So they try to call Nina, which Nina is a computer. So if you want to go
figure out a
computer in the West Coast, it's little Susie.
A 1, 2, 3, 4, never ending story. Wow, that was beautiful. That was
actually
Can we be on the
soundtrack? So they go to Susie's house, which they're in like Nevada, and they have to drive to Salt Lake City, Utah, with a stoner dude and their pizza.
Oh boy.
It's just they're literally all
My
over
favorite thing is when Argyle starts like freaking out and Jonathan's just like, just go smoke something else. Like yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, no, great answer. So they wind up getting to Susie's house, and I think this is the most unexpected thing I wanted to see from Susie, because Susie's like very religious.
Yeah.
And, like she, in the beginning of the first episode, she changed Dustin's grade on her computer, like hacked into Hawkins' system and changed his like D- to an A-, and she like looks up the Jesus statue, like, forgive me. So
she's like, she gives off only child energy, so I was really surprised.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this like all of her siblings, or is this like a?
No, I think it's all of her siblings.
Okay, I couldn't like that foster. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, is it like, are her parents like fostering people? I don't know.
No.
There's just a lot of people in this house.
Susie is like one of like 7.
It's like cheaper by
maybe.
the dozen.
Yeah, no, it is. And all of them are total different personalities, and Susie's the most normal.
Yeah,
which is a lot to say.
A lot. She's like the brainy one.
Yeah.
Her one sister's very gothic.
Okay.
Falls in love with Argyle. Love it to see it.
Yeah. One is like wants to be like a hunter. He like walks around in his like underwear with a bow and arrow.
One of them, like the 2 of them are like into making movies.
Yeah, very theatrical.
It's great.
I love it.
It really does feel like the opening of some chaotic family movie or like a sitcom.
Yes, it does.
I need this as a sitcom. Duffer Brothers, get on it.
No, this is a sitcom. It's so funny.
I know. I need it in like a full Susie sitcom.
Oh my god, yes. I would love that. So they get to Susie after traveling through the entire house and meeting all of Susie's family. Susie's computer was taken away because she felt guilty that she changed a grade, so her father took it away. It's fine because they devised this whole entire plan to get into her dad's office to try to call Lena and track it down or whatever, which they do, which is in the middle of nowhere, Nevada.
Quite literally in the middle of nowhere. It's like a storage locker almost, and then you walk in and there's staircases into underground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really think that's where we end off with that.
Yeah, because they're not in the last episode.
Yeah.
Which really caught me off guard.
There's a lot of things going on in Hawkins, though, that no one really cared about what was going on in California.
There's too much going on in Hawkins and Russia at that point.
Yeah, we still have 2 more storylines to go through.
That's okay. We're only an hour in.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. So...
Are we moving on to Hawkins now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Hawkins kind of leads into 11. I have the most written down for Hawkins because I feel like all of 11 stuff happens in the last episode.
Yes, definitely.
And that's pretty fresh in our minds, I think.
Yes. So...
Just start off with what I got written first, baby. Eddie.
Mr. Eddie.
Eddie.
I love my life.
No, I'm actually so in love with him.
Was anyone actually supposed to fall in love with him? Maybe not.
I don't think so. I think he was just there. Like I have a bad feeling about him.
No.
So I don't think they meant for like you to like love him so much, but like I haven't seen a single negative thing about him. I didn't trust him at first, but like now he's just like my soft boy who I want to protect with every fiber of my being.
No, I literally love him.
He's like my dream boyfriend, just like very 80s, very into music, kind of nerdy, perfect.
Yeah.
Joseph Quinn, if you're single and you're free, I'm free tomorrow night.
I'm very much available.
I'm available whenever you're available. Just let me know.
He's also British, which makes it 1,000 times better.
So much better.
But so Eddie, let's briefly touch on Mike, Dustin, and Lucas. So Mike and Dustin are part of the Hellfire Club, which is the D&D club.
Yeah.
Lucas has become popular because he's on the basketball team.
Doesn't he still play in the D? He does play in the D&D club, though.
He does, but he can't play because it's the night of the championship.
Yeah, so they have to go tell Eddie, who is the head of this club, the Hellfire Club.
Mm-hmm.
Which has a really sick logo.
It does. So,
sorry.
I'm chewing on ice, sorry.
It's good. I'll take over for you for a second. But yeah, he's the head of a D&D club that Dustin and Mike are part of. So when Lucas says he can't play, when he can't play that night, I think it's Eddie is doing like his campaign for Vecna. I don't really know what campaigns are. I don't really understand
anything about D&D, and I really wish I did.
I know. All I know is that I'm assuming it's important because like they even talked about it in past seasons too, like how it's a big thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then when Lucas can't play, they get Erica. I freaking love Erica, and I think she's so underused. I thought she was going to be such a bigger character here at this point, and then she just wasn't really seen again. But she's Lady Applejack. And you love her. She's become a full nerd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of it for like what we know about Eddie now. Oh wait, no. We also see Chrissy, who is a cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going through something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's seeing visions, she's hearing her mom yell horrible things at her that aren't actually being said. And so she like meets up with Eddie out in the woods and wants to buy drugs off of him. I think it's just like she thinks that'll calm her and help her kind of thing. Yeah. So he like obviously is gonna sell to her. And she wants something stronger, so he tells her to come over later that night and he'll give her something stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So she does. And this is kind of why I thought like, okay, this could be bad, like this could go bad. Mm-hmm. I'm like, either she's gonna kill him or he's gonna kill her. Like, this is gonna be our big bad. It totally threw me off. We did a 180 here.
Yeah. You want to touch a little bit on Max quickly?
What about Max?
Just Max is kind of going through it too because
her
Billy died.
Yeah, she's having a bad time about that.
Yeah, so she's seeing a therapist at school, and
her mom and Billy's dad split up, so they had to move to the trailer park, which is the same trailer park Eddie lives in. So they live across the way from each other.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think she started having visions yet.
No, she's
just having headaches.
Okay.
Headaches and like nightmares and all that, but she's been having like the day visions. But Chrissy has been having the nightmares. She's been having the headaches. She's seeing the visions, hearing things.
The clock.
Seeing the clock, yes. So her time's up. And so Eddie, she's there. Eddie goes to get the drugs, and when he comes back, she like is, doing what Alexie's doing if you're watching the video. Like, her eyes are rolled into the back of her head. She's like shaking. It's almost like she's having a seizure.
Yeah.
And Eddie's like trying to wake her up, and she's just not waking up. And then all of a sudden she just freaking levitates to the ceiling. And her like arm like goes crooked and upside down and left and right, and her jaw breaks, her eyes pop, like everything. And it's traumatizing. Like, that was not what I really expected.
It was some exorcism shit. Oh,
definitely. Obviously this shakes up Eddie pretty bad, and he comes running out so also Max had seen Chrissy and Eddie go in. She was like, this is weird. Like, Eddie and Chrissy, they're from two totally different social groups. But she didn't really think anything of it. But then she goes out to feed like a dog.
Yeah, just like a neighborhood dog.
Yeah, just a neighborhood dog. And when she's out there, she hears Eddie come running out of the trailer, and Chrissy's nowhere to be found. But Eddie goes running, and he like drives away, and he's terrified.
Mm-hmm.
And Max is like, okay, this is weird. But she just like goes inside, doesn't think anything of it. But then the next day, the cops come, and Chrissy's dead.
Yeah.
And Max sees it. Like,
she
Max sees Chrissy.
But obviously she knows Eddie's not there because she saw him like run out of the house.
Yeah, and so does she call? She calls Dustin, Steve. I think she goes to Dustin first.
She goes to Dustin's house because she's like, I think we saw something. And at this point, like, Sadie's not Sadie. Max not really talking to anyone, so for like Max to show up to Dustin's house like is a lot.
Yeah, and she's like, she says something about like just the way he looked.
Yeah, like
this wasn't.
I know
he didn't do this. He didn't do this. Like, he saw something.
Mm-hmm.
So then Dustin's like, do you think it's something to do with the Upside Down? And she's like, I think so.
Yeah. And
so Dustin gets his pal Steve and Robin. My favorite duo.
Yes. Oh, trio, really.
Trio. Dustin and Steve are so funny.
Oh, God. Yes.
Like, I love this friendship.
So do I. But so they go to.
And then Nancy also gets involved too, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
She could have easily been left out of this. I don't care.
Yeah. No, I'm not a fan of her this season.
No.
Well,
she's just boring this season.
But like Nancy and Robin, I can like get on board.
No, I love them.
But like the first few episodes with Nancy, I'm like, you're kind of. So Robin and Steve are working at a video store now.
Oh my God,
instead of Ships Ahoy. I
I think this is the
Or is
arcade.
it
Like, I
two?
think the arcade turned into the video store. I could be wrong.
You could be right, though.
I feel like I remembered them saying something about the arcade, and then this is, like, what the arcade is. I don't really know.
Maybe. Who knows? But so they decide to call they go there because they need multiple phones because they want to call all of Eddie's friends to kind of figure out where he is. And none of them know, but one of them, they're like, maybe like he's at
Reefer Rick.
Reefer Rick. Okay. House. So I don't know who the genius was that thought of this idea,
Robin.
but you were Robin. Genius. Decides to go look through the video database with everyone that's made an account, and they kind of find him based off of like movies he's
Yeah,
seen.
because like someone like rented like 101 Dalmatians, that kind of stuff, and they're like, what are the chances that Reefer Rick has a family?
Yeah.
No.
Not-
And then, yeah, so they go through all the movies that people have rented.
And the one address. So they find like the movies and his
Yeah,
address.
because he took out Cheech and Chong, like all of the Cheech and Chongs.
I can't.
I know.
And he also lives down like in a secluded area, so like they're like, this gotta be it.
Yeah.
So they go down to the lake, or is it a lake? Yes, it's Lover's Lake.
Yeah, because they have the boat.
Yes. And they do find he's not in that main house. There's like kind of like a garage.
Yeah, he's
on the
in
side
like
of the house.
the boat shack thing.
Yes. And they're like, tell us what you saw. And he's like, no, you won't believe me. And they're like, no, like we will. Tell us what you saw. So like he obviously then gives like a brief description of what has happened. And so like obviously at this point, like the whole town like knows like that someone died. And obviously everyone's on the lookout for Eddie. But because of the news, and obviously we all know that Nancy writes for the school newspaper, she obviously wants to write for the story. So she winds up going down to Eddie's trailer to kind of get like an inside scoop of like what's going on, and she thinks that people will talk to a high schooler. All right.
Yeah.
But she brings, what's this dude's name?
Fred, I think.
Fred? Sure. I didn't really care much about Fred.
He's in one episode.
Yeah.
2?
1.5.
Something like that. He's a very minor character. He's gonna die.
Yeah. Don't spoil it.
Yeah, anybody who's watching this has seen it, Lex.
I know. But
If you haven't,
sorry.
what are you doing here?
We should put a spoiler warning.
We appreciate the views either way.
Yeah. So, Nancy's going around to interview people, and she like kind of tells Fred to like stay here. But Fred starts to hear the clock and voices.
And that's how you know it's not gonna be good.
Yeah. So he goes out into the middle of the woods. And apparently he was in like a car accident that killed like an entire family. Which, sorry. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. We didn't see this, correct?
I don't think we saw this.
Okay. I really thought.
That's what I.
Really
Because with Chrissy, like, at least you kind of like didn't get much of her backstory, but like this has like a whole flashback sequence, so it's just like it feels like it's important, but like it's not, I guess.
Yes. So Nancy's like trying to look for him because she's like, I told him to stay right here. I have no idea where he is, but like he's having like on a whole entire episode of whatever, and he winds up going. Is this the road where the family died? He's getting taken.
I think so.
Okay. Vecna. Thank you. Vecna gets to him and he snaps his neck and pops his eyes out and does the whole thing. So then they obviously find him the next day. And how does Dustin, Robin, Max, and Steve find him? Do they just happen to stumble across it?
The cops come. I think the cops start racing down and they like are like, oh, shit, what happened?
Okay.
We should also probably mention Nancy. Like her
Yeah,
conversation.
Nancy finds him.
No, I'm talking about her conversation with so she goes and talks to Eddie's uncle and is like, here it happened here, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about gossip, like I'm not into that, like just no. And he ends up saying that he thinks it was Victor Creel. He thinks Victor Creel broke out of Penhurst, which I think is just like a really high security prison or asylum or something like that. And so that kind of like gets Nancy wondering. He says, what did he say? I think he said that Victor Creel was like a guy who just like murdered his entire family.
Yes, but maybe he thought something else did it, or he claimed something else did it.
Yeah, so he's like, he's crazy, like he probably broke out, he did this, he's back.
Oh, because of the eye thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which will come back when we talk about more about Victor, because we'll have to give that whole backstory. But yeah, so that's Nancy for right now, but we do come back to that in a minute. But yeah, they find Fred, and I don't think they really figure out anything yet. Like, I don't think they figure out, like, what is happening. Oh, wait, no, maybe they do, because Dustin says something, it's Vecna. These kids need to stop playing D&D.
They wind up going to the guidance counselor's office. Because Max goes in for an emergency session at her therapist's house, and she winds up stealing the keys to the school and, like, the, I guess, filing cabinet. Chrissy and Fred are also seeing this therapist, so they kind of get their files, and when they're getting their files, Max starts to hear the clock, which I think everyone's, like, stomach kind of sank watching this, because we're like, oh,
this is a show where nobody's safe.
No. Literally no one.
No. So, yeah. Especially 3 seasons in, like, 3 seasons in for this character.
Yeah.
Like, she very well could have.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, at this point, they're kind of reading their files and whatever, and Max realizes, like, she's probably next. And she starts, like, writing letters to everyone because she's, like, convinced, like, she's going to die. And it's so sad. So let me tell you, episode 4, season 4, one of the best episodes ever.
Oh, yeah.
So good. It's like,
really good.
It's, everyone just can't stop talking about it, and it's for so many good reasons, because Sadie's performance is incredible. She did
amazing.
Yeah.
I think I literally tweeted when I watched that, so I'm like, Sadie is giving the performance of her life.
Yeah. She gives a letter to everyone. She stops by at the trailer to get one to her mom, which, surprise, it's not actually her mom, it's Vecna. Because she's having, like, another flashback or...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
For me, it's when she goes to Billy's grave. Yeah. It's so sad. Because, like, yes, Billy kind of sucked, but, like...
Yeah.
She loved him.
Yeah, just the way that, like, she described their relationship was perfect, and she, like, really wanted to try.
I know. She said she's, like, I think, like, what people have said, they're, like, Max, like, yes, no matter what you think about Billy, yes, he wasn't the greatest, but, like, you have to realize Max literally saw him die in the most traumatic way possible. Yeah. And, like, whether he was a piece of shit or not, he was still her family. Yeah. So, like, it is really hard to, like, watch that, especially when she thought maybe they would be coming around and being in a better place.
Yeah. So when, like, Max is trying to, like, write all her letters and whatever, so Steve is caught babysitting Dustin. Lucas we haven't touched on Lucas. Okay. So
yeah,
Lucas,
he kind of leads because the basketball team, the head of the basketball team is Chrissy's boyfriend. Yeah. So he catches wind that she died in Eddie's trailer, so he thinks Eddie killed her, which, like, makes sense. Yeah. Like, you would think that. But Lucas, like, he knows Eddie, so he's like, no, like, he didn't do this. What are you talking about? It couldn't have been him. But obviously, like, kind of keep his cool quota. Yeah. Can't really say. So he kind of leads them on, like, a wild goose chase, trying to, like, deter them from finding Eddie and his friends and everything like that. And I don't really know how he reunites with them. Like, I don't know how they all reunite, but at some point they do.
Somehow
Because
Lucas gets to Dustin's or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know. All I know is that he's there when Max is writing the letters because she writes him a letter.
Yes. But also, okay, so the basketball team's on a goose chase. They might have found Eddie at this point. I don't really remember.
I don't think so.
No one really cares about the basketball team, let's be real. At this point,
that's
from
why I
now
completely
on,
forgot about this.
yeah, Lucas is kind of with them from this point
Yeah.
on now. So Steve is babysitting Lucas, Max and Dustin, and Robin and Nancy go to Notre Dame.
Penhurst. No,
Well,
Notre Dame, yeah.
They go to Notre Dame to talk to the professor because they think that they're writing a thesis to get into college or something like that. They make this whole elaborate thing. And to be honest, I really thought Robin broke like her character at this one moment, but I was like, this is actually really good. Like, you go, Robin.
No, I really started to like Robin a lot. This, like, I liked her last season, but like I really liked her this season.
Yes, definitely. So obviously this professor's not gonna let them go see this crazy dude.
Yeah, no, like this high security criminal.
Yeah, but Robin kind of pulls like a sexist card on it, and the dude's like, all right, whatever. Like,
yeah, and she's like, I've always just wanted to be you. Like, I want to be you when I grow up.
And of course, it flatters him.
Oh yeah.
So they go and talk to Victor Creel.
Should we give the backstory? First of all, played by Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger in Nightmare on Elm Street. And I saw that he was going to be in this. I'm like, I don't know who he's going to play, but I'm obsessed. I'm picturing him maybe playing like a professor or something. Because he's like an older guy now. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, I don't picture him being like some creepy thing anymore. He's so creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he turns around and you just see his like eyes are like closed because he had slit them to try to like kill himself. And they're like sewed together, like, so like, it's so creepy. But yeah, he gives the girls his backstory. So I'll give you like a speed run, I guess, because otherwise we'd be here a while. But him, his wife, and his two kids, a boy and a girl, they all moved to, is it Hawkins? They did move to Hawkins, right?
He was in war.
Yeah. So they all moved to Hawkins, and they move into this big, nice house, yada, yada. But then, I don't know, like, there's weird visions that keep, like, plaguing him. Like, he sees a cradle on fire. He hears weird sounds. And they're, like, they start, like, taunting his daughter, too. Like, it's just, like, attacking everyone in his family. Mm-hmm. And then one night, they're all having dinner, and the radio turns, and it's to Dream a Little Dream of Me, which becomes Dream a Little Dream of Me by Ella Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Which becomes, he says, is a voice of an angel, which is important.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden his wife flies out of her chair and like her bones crack. Like, she does the whole thing that everyone else that we've seen this season did. Mm-hmm. So then he survives it. His two kids do not. And then he's arrested for murder. Like, the police think he did it.
Yeah.
So then he tells all this story to Robin and Nancy. Obviously, they get caught. That they're not actually doing the thesis, so they get taken away. But Robin is retelling the story, and she's like, Dream a Little Dream of Me. He said, voice of an angel. Mm-hmm. So then, back to Max.
At this point,
I'll let you cover the Max.
Okay.
Yeah, she's your favorite.
At this point, Vecna has taken over Max's dream, and she's starting to have like the seizure thing. And like at this point, like, she's reading Billy his letter at his grave, and Steve, Dustin, and Lucas are in the car, and Steve's kind of like fed up with it because Steve's like, I told you not to come here. So he goes to get Max, and like Max is like sitting there like kind of like doing the seizing like thing, and he's like, Max, wake up, and then that's when they all
realize that something's wrong.
And at this point, we've seen Chrissy and Fred meet Vecna, but we haven't seen them meet Vecna the way Sadie met him.
Max.
Thank you. She
It's
just looks
okay.
like a Sadie.
Yeah,
Because she is a Sadie.
She works as a Sadie.
So Max. So Vecna greets Max as Billy, and Billy's like, "Why are you reading me this letter? It's complete fucking bullshit. Like, you never wanted to be a sibling. You didn't care that I died or whatever."
Yeah.
And Max is obviously like, "That's not true." So she kind of chases Vecna through Vecna chases Max through the graveyard in the vision dream thing she's having. And I don't really know how she gets here, but she gets to like this house. And it's like not a built house. It's kind of but like there's this grand staircase, and like it's like the remnants
there's
of
a
the house.
stained glass window.
Yes.
Yeah, window on the door, but
yes, but like there's pieces of the house like floating.
Yeah.
And she is met there. She meets Vecna there.
So much is going on in this scene. Like there's just
so
much around her.
Seen the scene, like even if you don't watch the show, which once again
it's
I don't know why
really
you're not.
Good.
Yeah, you probably seen the scene on like Twitter or YouTube or everyone.
Instagram, yeah.
Yeah.
TikTok probably.
Yes. So she's at like this house now, and Vecna's walking down the stairs and like gets her. And this is when she starts like levitating, and at this point Robin and
Nancy.
Thank you. I was about to say Janice. Nancy escaped they were being chased by like the security at the for breaking in, which rightfully so.
Yeah. But this is where Robin says, "Dream a little dream of me."
Yeah.
He said the voice of an angel. And then earlier someone had said something about how music can save you. Like that is the one thing that remains constant. So she's like, what if that is what saved Victor?
Yeah.
And she's like, so what if that could save everybody else? So then she walkie-talkies Dustin and tells him this.
Mm-hmm.
And Max has been walking around with her little Walkman the entire
time.
season.
And this is the point where like she kind of stops listening.
Yeah.
So like she was saving herself and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So they're obviously trying to like rush to find her favorite like
they don't know her favorite song.
But Lucas obviously figures it out because they're meant to be.
Oh yeah.
And they throw it on her Walkman, and the gate like opens, and like she can see what's actually going on in like the regular world.
Yeah.
And Vecna's trying to like kill her. He's like wrapped his tentacles around her. Like she looks like there's other like trees, I guess, or like poles with people wrapped.
Yeah, like
in
vines
them.
almost.
Yeah. And they're obviously dead. And she is going to be like the next one. So she's like looking at all of them trying to get her down and whatever. And then come the flashbacks, which make the scene 1,000 times worse, but like flashbacks so good.
Get me every time.
Every time. And it's mostly a lot of Lucas and it's a lot of Elle. And then obviously Dustin's thrown in there. Like there's other people thrown in there.
Yeah, but those are the two most important.
Yeah. And she winds up breaking free from Vecna, and she starts sprinting toward this gate in the most amazing fashion possible. Vecna's like throwing things at her, and she's dodging them, and like she's running, and then of course it cuts to black, and I'm like, oh, she died. But of course she didn't die. No. She escapes, and like she obviously falls from her levitation, and she's like obviously has no idea what the hell just happened, and like they're all comforting her, so clearly they know the music can save her. So basically she needs to listen to the song 24
all the time,
which is frightening because I mean I have like favorite songs, but if you listen to them enough you're gonna get tired of it.
She even says that, she's like, what if I listen to it so much it doesn't become my favorite song anymore?
Yeah. So at this point, I love this scene. The scene's so funny. They're all at Will's house. Nancy and not Will.
Yeah.
Why do I keep confusing them? The Wheeler household.
No, because I always confuse them too for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. Probably because they're BFFs, but like not
Yeah,
anymore.
I don't know. For some reason, it's always like I hear like Will Byers, or like I hear Byers, and I'm like, oh, Mike, and then I'm like, nope.
No,
Or Wheeler.
yeah.
Oh, Will. Nope, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, no, actually. So they're obviously all staying there now, and it's kind of to keep an eye on Max to make sure like nothing happens to her. And they take shifts and whatever, and Dustin falls asleep, and they're like, where is Max? And Max in the kitchen, and she's like kind of drawing what she saw. And Nancy comes out, and Nancy kind of pieces it all together because she realizes like, oh, this makes something, and I've seen this store before, and I don't know why. So they realize it's the Creel house.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, I just got goosebumps.
yeah, so good. Duffer Brothers are incredible.
Genius.
So they wind up going to the Creel house, and
Is it
there? It's something they go to find stuff, and stuff happens with the lights.
Yeah, they see there's something with the lights, and they kind of like notice like they're like touching it like this, like something happens when they do that.
No, that's when they go in the upside down.
Is that when they go in the
Yeah.
Never mind then.
This is when the flashlights, they like the bulb burst.
Oh, all the lights. Yeah, they blow. And this when Patrick dies, I think. Patrick is on the basketball team.
Thank you.
So I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. So
okay,
Becca
so
is killing him.
Point, yes. So at this point too,
yeah, we really just stopped talking about the baseball team.
Yeah,
the basketball team.
The basketball team has found Eddie, and Eddie's out on a boat in the lake, and
Jason.
Jason.
We totally forgot this.
Yeah. Jason and what's the name? Patrick are on the boat chasing Eddie. And Patrick has already started to have some kind of visions. But like they're literally
swimming after Eddie. And Eddie can't get the motor to start, so he's trying to paddle away.
Yeah. And then Patrick has his whole exorcism, and Jason.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there, and Eddie is there, and Jason like can't believe what he's seeing, but he's convinced because
Eddie's the demon.
Yeah, because it's also a thing that like D&D is actually like demonic, and like
I'm trying to think the same.
Yeah. And like they are actually killing people. Like
yeah, no. Jason thinks that Eddie is like hailing Satan.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's actually called, but like he says something specific, but like he thinks that he's basically Satan.
Yes. So even though like he witnessed what he saw, like if you think Eddie killed your girlfriend, like you're gonna think that like he killed
Honestly, if you're just a random character in this world that doesn't know anything that's going on, yeah, that probably would be the most plausible thing, especially with all those rumors.
Very true.
I like to believe if I was in this, I'd believe them.
Yeah, I would.
I'd believe Eddie anything. He's my baby. I love him.
But yeah, so Patrick dies, and this is when
they're in. Yeah, they're all holding. What are they looking at? They're all in a circle holding.
I think they're trying to summon things.
Well, it works.
Yeah. But all the lights blow.
Yeah.
And
I think that's kind of when they realize, like, because so Eddie falls in the water when Patrick starts going up and doing his thing because he freaks out and he falls in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So then later when they meet back up with Eddie, they're like, our lights went out. Like, when did this happen? And then he's like, well, my walkie-talkie is the only thing that fell in the water. My watch also fell in, so I can tell you exactly what time it was. Mm-hmm. So they see that time, they're like, that's about the time we went to the Creel house.
Mm-hmm.
So then they realize, like, it must have, when Patrick died, must have been why their lights went. So they believe that any time, but like Vecna's kind of using, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. It's so confusing. He's like opening gates every single time he kills somebody, but he's also being powered
the Creel house has something to do with it, though.
Yeah. And he's also, like, kind of, you can kind of see him in the lights, I guess. Like, when the light flickers, they know he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another thing. The lights, like, flicker when Chrissy dies. The lights flicker. Oh, actually, never mind. The other two are killed outside. Never mind. But the lights flicker when Chrissy's killed. The lights in Max's house keep flickering whenever she sees a vision. Like, it's stuff like that. But yeah, so then, gosh, there is so much that goes on here.
We gotta
So
briefly go through it.
I know. So then, yeah, they figure out that, and then they figure out that there's gates being open. They have to. Oh, because they go find Eddie. They find out that he's at Lover's Rock or something like that.
Skull Rock.
Skull Rock. And so they're going there, and Steve is like, you know I basically invented this. Why are you even using a compass? Like, I know where this is. And Dustin's like, it's north. And Steve is like, yeah, whatever. But then they finally get there, and Steve's like, see, I told you. And Dustin's like, that's not right. He's like, wow, you see it with your own eyes, and you still can't get over your ego, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin's like, no, like, it's not right. And he's just kind of like trying to figure it out while they're all reuniting with Eddie. And then Dustin realizes that in a past season, I can't remember which one it was. I feel like it was like season 2. They found out that the only thing that can change a compass is a magnet, like something super strong.
Yeah.
And that's how they figured out there was where the gate was. So then Dustin sees that they were going north the entire time. They were going the right way. But then when they finally got to Skull Rock, it wasn't the right direction.
Yeah.
So there must be another gate nearby.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they figure out there's another gate. And so they're going on to try to find out where that gate would be.
Yeah.
And that's how they also figure out that Vecna is leaving gates open every single time he kills somebody, because they go to Lover's Lake and they go.
They find that out a little bit later, though.
Yeah. But that's where Dustin calls it Watergate, because it's quite literally a gate in the water.
Yeah. Also, while this is going on, the town is having like a meeting, and they want to like establish a curfew, and like these people are like, this is not helping. Like Hawkins is fucked up, and of course the basketball team comes in. And they're like, Hellfire is the part of all this. I'm so over them
at this point.
Yeah,
I was over them by episode 2.
Same. And they're like, the Hellfire Club's part of this, and obviously like Lucas's mom, Dustin's mom, and Mrs. Wheeler all there, and like they see their kids in the photo, and they're like, shit, like we need to find them. So
yeah, they all go to Lover's Lake.
Yeah.
And Steve, Robin, Eddie, and Nancy are all on the boat, and they go to like see if they can find that gate. But the kids are all still on the shore.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cops come and arrest the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of piles in with the parents, because then they get sent back to the Wheeler house, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they're reunited with their parents, who are like kind of freaking out on them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so then they're kind of freaking out on them. The cops are trying to get like information out of them. They're like, do you know Eddie? All this stuff, and they're obviously not going to sell out Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
So then they pull Max aside first, like they think they can get information out of her, and this where Callahan, he's like, we shouldn't have taken her first. She's kind of mean. It kind of killed me. I love that you're chewing on ice cubes.
We are talking so much.
Does your throat hurt? Because mine does.
My throat is so dry. And I need a little ice. I have water. I need to get up to get it. But briefly, before we go to the kids at the Wheeler's house, so Steve has found Watergate. Like, he's gone into the water and found it. And something.
Why he jumps in though? Does he just jump in because that's where it is? Like,
I think he wants to see that it's there.
Okay.
And then he somehow disturbs something, and a tentacle escapes the gate and drags him down.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah. And then, like, obviously, like, if one of your friends gets dragged into the Upside Down, you're all gonna follow, right?
I mean, not me, but, like, you guys do.
Yeah, you do you. So, Robin, Nancy, and Eddie...
Well, Nancy jumps in first.
Because Nancy and Steve... You know what? I'm over... Nancy needs to be single, but
Nancy
whatever.
needs to be with Robin, but...
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But so,
yeah, Eddie basically begs Robin not to jump in, but she does.
And then Eddie's like, well,
you're not gonna sit out here alone.
Yeah. So they all go upside down, and then they find like demobats.
Those are amazing.
Like whatever that is.
Yeah, that episode ends with Steve being attacked by these things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, I've been predicting Steve is gonna die. Is he really gonna die?
So
Steve has escaped death too many times.
He has. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, so the dumb bats, whatever, they escape it, and
They go. I think they decide they're gonna go to the Wheeler house.
Yeah.
Because Nancy says she has guns.
Yes, to fight off them.
Yeah.
But sorry.
You go.
So when they get to the Wheeler house, none of her guns are there.
No.
And she's like, this is weird, but like I got rid of this mirror like 2 years ago. And then she's like, wait, let me look at my diary. And all her diary entries stop the day that Will went missing. So the upside down is 2 years in the past.
Ooh,
Really
that was
confusing.
such like a creepy reveal to him. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So weird. So, but obviously since like they're in the regular world, all of them are at the Wheeler house, they can hear them.
Yeah, they can hear Dustin.
Yes.
So Steve is yelling for Dustin while they're all upstairs. And they all come down. They're like, what are you doing? He's like, Dustin, can't you hear him? He's like, Dustin.
Yeah. So this kind of like ties in with season 1, where like Will could hear everything going on in his house, but like Joyce, there's too many names. Joyce couldn't hear him, so that's when like they
did the lights
with light, and that happens again. So
oh my god, I love this. I thought this was so cool. Yeah, they what is Nancy? I think is like, does anyone know Morse code? Because they realize they can talk to lights.
But I know SOS. And so, yeah, they got what they're. Justin, Lucas, and Erica are all talking in the kitchen about something. They're trying to figure out about the gates.
They're explaining it to Erica because Erica's like, you better tell me what's going on right now.
Oh, okay.
So they're explaining it to Erica, and then Erica notices the light flickering. And then Dustin's like, S-O-S. And he's like, oh my god, it's them.
Or no, they think it's Vecna. No, they originally think it's Vecna, but when he realizes they're spelling out SOS, they're like, remember when I thought they weren't dumb enough to go into Watergate?
Yeah.
I might have overestimated them.
I love Dustin. But this is like my favorite part. Like the Christmas lights were so cool in season 1. It became such a thing. Here it gets like not modern, but like modern for the time. They use a light bright.
Excuse me, I had a light bright.
Oh, so do I, but I'm just talking like this is like a new thing to them probably. But they use a light bright, which I love light brights. And it's so cool the way they do this. So here they find out that they can go like, they can make like little things with the light.
Mm-hmm.
So like they can make like kind of shapes, like it moves with them.
Yeah.
So then Dustin and Lucas and Erica, they all get out a light bright and they put a bunch of the pegs in.
They put all the pegs in.
They put all the pegs in. And then they, since Nancy, Steve, and Robin can still hear them, and Eddie, they can still hear them, so Dustin's like, okay, like, try to spell something out. So then Nancy, like, writes out hi, and it comes up on the light bright. And I just think that is so...
That was so cool.
It's so cool. I've been waiting for us to get there, because I just really like that part. I literally wrote down light bright.
I did see that, and I was like, what?
I think it's so cool.
It is. So at this point, they're kind of like asking them all questions and whatever. And I think at this point, Dustin's realized that each time Vecna kills someone, a gate opens. So they realize that there's probably one at Eddie's trailer, and they'll meet
Which
there.
we did see earlier. There's like a crack in the ceiling, but they don't know what it's about.
Yeah.
They're just like, just stay away from that. Like, it's something weird.
Yeah. So this parallels, the way they shot this scene is so good as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Robin's like, okay, your house is 2 years in the future, but don't you always have bikes? So there's a parallel of like Dustin, Erica,
Dustin, Lucas, and Max
riding their bikes, and then it flips to the upside down of Eddie, Nancy, Robin, and Steve riding the bikes, and it's so good.
It's so cool.
So good.
I love those shots.
Yeah.
I want to geek about the cinematography because we've become major cinematography nerds lately. They do that, like, every time they, like, do it where it's, like, going straight and then it kind of just, like, flips. I think it's so cool. But also the scene transitions they do a lot. I sometimes have to rewind it because, like, there was one, I think it was like, oh, Joyce like went to go like clean out, or someone went to go clean out a tray of food and like plops in the garbage, and then it goes to like Hopper being served like slop. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like little things like that. I think it's so cool. I want to know who's in charge of this cinematography. Like, I just want to talk. I think you're a genius.
Deserves a raise. A raise.
It's so good.
Yes.
But the scene is like hands down like one of the best things I've ever seen.
So good. So at this point they go to Eddie's and they're opening the gate with like a broom or something.
I love this one too. This whole sequence.
I was
amazing.
just also very curious of how they were getting down there, because I was like,
yeah,
are you like upside down or like?
Oh, it's so confusing. Like,
yeah,
not watch this like on any kind of substance. Like, you will not understand.
Absolutely not. So who comes? I think it's Robin that comes out first, then it's Eddie, and then.
But Nick. I also love like when it opens and Dustin's like, "Hey guys."
Hi. It's so funny because they're really down there. Like,
it's so confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robin, I think goes. Yeah. No, does Robin go first?
I think Robin goes first.
Okay.
I think it's Robin, then Eddie, and then Nancy, and then Nancy doesn't make it back.
No, Nancy, like everyone else fell into a mattress. Nancy falls into like nothing. Like, she falls into the darkness.
I was like, what? No, Nancy falls into the pool where Barb dies.
Yeah. So Vecna's coming for her now.
Yeah. So
they bring her back to like the night that Barb died, because she's never forgiven herself for that.
Yeah.
And she's even having flashbacks to like Barb dying and her like sleeping with Steve at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like Vecna talks to her too, and like saying like stuff like that.
Yeah, saying like it's fault Barbara died, and
yeah, I mean it is. But
it kind of is.
Fine. I'm still really upset
I don't think
she like Barb mentions.
I mean, I don't think she expected that to happen, but
no.
Still kind of her fault. Don't maybe leave your best friend alone.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we need to briefly touch on 11 before we finish up this. What happens with Nancy? Yeah, because this kind of starts to tie together. So, quick little things with Elle.
Yeah, we haven't touched on her.
Because not much happened really with her in California up until she got arrested and then kidnapped.
But even then, like, you could literally just cut out all of her scenes in all the other episodes and just put it in the finale, and it would still be kind of the same.
Yeah. No. Okay. So this is like slightly
like
confusing.
The Elle stuff. I'm so sorry to any 11 fans. I didn't really like this. It just felt so repetitive.
Yeah, and I was really confused because I was like, is this happening now or not? Yeah, so what happened? So we were talking about Nina before. So it's called the Nina Project. And apparently this was actually used like in real life to kind of take away your sensory to kind of bring back memories. You can read up on it.
Yeah, so we've seen them do this before. Like, every time they turn on radio static or TV static and blindfold her so she can, like, find people. Yeah. That's what this is, except she's going to try and find memories.
Yes, suppressed memories, which very understandable why they are suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
So, fun fact also, Papa's not dead.
No, unfortunately.
He's very much alive. And he wants to help her find her powers. And it's weird because, like, I don't know if they're trying to be good or not.
It's so hard to say. I feel like they are in a way, but I also think they want her to get her powers back for bad reasons.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, it's kind of like a cult.
Yeah.
In a way.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. So in the first 8 minutes of the entire season.
Yeah, bear with us on this because this whole storyline is very confusing.
So in the first 8 minutes of the entire season, we see 11, and it seems like a mass car went on in Hawkins' lab, and Papa comes in and he's like, "What did you do?" And then we're kind of put like that's like totally out of context. Like, we have zero idea what happened. Yes. So now we're back in 1986, and they're trying to help Elle regain her powers and whatever. So they're putting her in Nina and, like, doing all this shit. And Peter is one of, like, the... I don't want to say, like, guards.
He's an orderly, it says.
Okay, orderly. Cool. I don't even know where I was going with those.
Good question.
Elle kind of, like, or he kind of befriends Elle, kind of, I guess.
He's, like, helping her.
Yes. Because Elle... Also, are all these dudes? And is Elle the only girl?
No, I think there's some girls in here.
Okay. With all the shaved heads, I mean, I'm
It's
a little
very hard
puzzled.
to tell. It's very creepy.
Yeah. So he's kind of, like, helping her navigate because, like, there's a bunch of, like, older guys that are, like, kind of bullying Elle and, like, trying to get her to use her powers, but I don't think she knows how powerful she is yet in these memories.
See, this is why it's so confusing because, like, well, we'll get there. Never mind.
Okay.
We'll talk about it when we actually talk about it properly.
So I mean, like, I don't. So there's, like, scenes of them, like, trying to use their telepathic powers to fight against each other, and at one point all these guys gang up on Elle, and, like, Peter's like, this time they tried to hurt you, next time they're gonna have to try to kill you because that's what Papa wants. Yeah. And he's like, I'm gonna help you escape.
Do we actually know if this is what Papa wants, though?
No, we do not.
Okay.
So he's gonna help her escape, but Elle's a little hesitant because Elle saw Papa torturing Peter for helping her and, like, giving her information. Oh, because he said to her that, like, you remind me a lot like One, which we've never met One. Like, we don't know who Base One is because they never talk about him or her.
We don't know any of the other people.
Yeah, I mean, we briefly got 9 in season 2.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, that was weird because that
I didn't like that
very
episode.
Distance from what we just.
It is.
It's
like it's a bottle episode.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so he says.
So you remind me a lot like One, and then, like, he gets tortured, and Elle's, like, kind of, like, feels a little bit guilty. So he tells her, like, oh, next time they're gonna kill you when they try to beat you up. So, like, I'll help you escape. He gives her a key card.
He also tells her, like, at some point, like, she needs to cling onto a memory, a bad thing, like something that made her sad but also angry, and that'll help her bring her powers back out.
Yeah.
Which we do find happens when she's being chased by the orderlies, when she, like, escapes Papa for a minute, but then she gets caught and brought back. So then when she does it a second time, she's so angry, she, like, shoots them back.
Yeah.
So, like, that's, like, the first, like, hint at that. And so that's, like, told to her, like, if you get, like, really angry, if you remember, like, a memory, that'll help you gain your powers back. Like, you got to be rooted in that kind of memory.
Yeah, the first memory that she has is, I think her mom comes back to get her or something like that.
Yeah. And then she's pulled away.
Yeah, which makes her angry and sad, rightfully so.
Yeah.
So then obviously now, one of the memories that makes her angry and sad is the boys beating her up because obviously, like, she's mad that she couldn't fight back, and, like, why she's sad because they were beating her up with her telepathic mind. And I was like, geez, this looks painful, even though they're not even touching her.
Well, she's being slammed into walls and stuff.
Crazy. So Peter helps her escape, and Peter's like, you have to, like, help get the chip out of me.
He said Papa put a chip on him because 11's like, you can't fit down there, or, like, because he wasn't making any move. He's like, I can't leave. Like, Papa has me tracked.
Yeah.
It's how he weakens me. It's how he tracks me. Even if I do escape, he'll find me and he'll find you.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, so she gets it out.
Elle does her memory thing and rips it out with her mind. And Peter kind of tells her to, like, stay there. Like, wait until I come and get you.
But the
Elle doesn't
guard,
listen. Yeah, so Elle does not listen to him, as I probably wouldn't either. And she comes up and sees the Hawkins Lab massacre, where literally everyone is dead. Everyone is dead.
Everyone except Papa, we later find out.
Yes. So she goes back into like the playroom and she's met eyes to eyes with Peter. And this is where things start to intertwine with Nancy still being stuck with the Upside Down. Because we find out that Peter is actually one. And that's why L11 reminds him a lot like himself.
Yeah. So confusing when they don't have names.
Yes. So we find this whole story out. Also, that Mr. Number One is also Henry Hill. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Henry Creel.
Creel. I said Hill. I was like,
That's fine.
Doesn't sound right.
I forgot, because I knew you said it was going to intertwine. I'm like, I know it intertwines, but I can't remember why it intertwines. Now I do. Yeah, Nancy is in the Upside Down. She's having, like, the seizure kind of thing. And she basically follows, like, Victor Creel. She's in the Creel house.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees, like, the entire story we see Victor tell us.
Yeah.
We see it again here, but we see it more from Henry's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So she's following him, and Henry is Victor's son, if you didn't catch that.
Yeah.
But he's like the little boy. So we like see her following him, and apparently he was always kind of strange, and his parents thought maybe moving him to Hawkins would help, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't.
Makes him worse.
Yeah, it makes him way worse. But I guess like his mom kind of always thought he was kind of like weird, and she knew something was up.
Mm-hmm.
So like Nancy follows him through everything. Like she sees him find out that he can move stuff. She sees him find out that he can hurt things. Like she watches him kill a poor defenseless rabbit, which hurt a lot to watch. It was very painful. But like she sees him like kind of learn all these things about himself. And then we see that night that Victor was talking about where his entire family dies. And we see that it's actually Henry, his son, in charge of it. So, like, he, like, looks at his mom and is the one to, like, kill her. He, like, turns on the radio to distract her, then shoots her up to kill her. And then he doesn't realize, like, it's the same thing that happened with 11 in season 3 when she just, like, passed out from exhaustion because she, like, overexerted herself. He didn't know that could happen to him. So he passed out, and that's why his dad thought he was dead.
Yeah.
And I guess he, like, goes into a coma. And when he wakes up in the coma, he's with Papa.
Fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. So that's how he ends up there.
Yes. And
he's the first test subject.
Yeah.
Because Papa's like, you're special, yada yada, and we see him drawing the tattoo on him. It's so wild.
Yeah. Let's kind of wrap everything up too. Oh, so what we actually...
we have to drop the plot twist.
So what also happens is 11 decides to fight back, as one should. So she like...
Yeah, so she walks into the room and the massacre's there because...
Yeah.
One Henry, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever he's named at this point. Did we say that it was him who actually killed people? Okay.
And
so much goes on.
Yes. And 11's like hurt by this. And she like gathers up
she trusted him.
Yeah. She gathers up every angry and sad memory and just annihilates him. And she opens up the first ever gate. And Henry goes down it.
Yeah.
She goes. And this is in 79, which, once again, timestamps would have been fabulous because I thought this was all in 1986.
This is why I said I was confused. So, if we see all this happening, but we're also flipping to Elle and Nina randomly. So, like, you're like, okay, is this actually happening, or is this a memory?
Yeah.
Because we also see, like, little 11, who's so creepy.
Yeah.
But it's just, like, some random kid actor, but they've, like, CGI'd Millie Bobby Brown's face onto it. Him, her, whoever it is.
Yeah.
So she looks like a kind of, like, robot. It's kind of creepy. Like, I don't know if any of you have seen Twilight, but, like, the baby in Breaking Dawn, that's what she looks like, and it's creepy as hell. But, like, so throughout the season, we've been seeing this, like, baby 11. But, like, here it's current day 11. So that's why I was always so confused. I'm like, are we actually seeing current day 11, or are we seeing baby 11? I don't know. Because, like, we see baby 11 at first, but then it goes into normal 11. So I'm just like,
yeah.
Mindfuck. Really, I don't really understand. And when I said that to my brother, he just finished the season today. I'm like, that's why I was confused, because, like, she's herself, and he's like, yeah, but you're seeing it through her perspective. You're seeing it through her memory, so she's kind of in that place right now. And I'm like, that makes sense.
Makes more sense. Still really confused, but
you know, they really could have just given us a little help there.
Yes, definitely.
Maybe we're just too dumb for this.
No, I definitely was. I mean, I watched it all in one day. So yeah, we see Henry go through the gate, and at this point we also see, like, Papa. This kind of corresponds to the first 8 minutes of the series, and I didn't even realize this is not the first gate. This is the first gate that Elle opens.
Yeah.
But then it kind of closed, but there's still the crack.
There's still a crack.
But this part gave me chills. So you see, like, Henry go in, and then does it, like, go to Vecna?
No, you see Henry, like, start transitioning
into Vecna.
Yeah.
So good.
Which you don't realize really until it, like, oh yeah, he, like, starts, like, going all weird. He, like, burning up almost.
Yeah.
I don't know if it, like, and I think it just, like, flashes to Vecna.
I think it flashes to Vecna in the Creel house with him, like, warped up and everything, and, like, everything's attached, and then they zoom into his wrist and it says 001, and we're like, oh shit. And like, we all know this man has so much beef with everyone now, and rightfully so. Once again, I feel like he's gone through a lot.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of bad when you can kind of sympathize with the villain.
The villain. But yeah, I mean, yeah, so that was like 7 episodes. And we still have 2, which are about 5 hours long.
Oh, we're going to be covering those.
Yeah. I feel like those we might need, like, 2 episodes, because the 7 episodes took us 2 hours more.
But will we, though? Because, like, if they're only 2.5 hours
But that's a movie.
We cover movies.
I know, but we cover one movie at a time.
True. We'll have to wait and see until we watch it.
Yeah.
Because we had no idea how we were going to do this until we watched it.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
I'm going to take notes this time.
Yes. That'll be helpful. Especially because, like, everyone's going to be back in Hawkins.
I assume. They have to, because they're going to have to get a hold of Joyce and say, hey, 11 isn't here.
Yep.
Because she's basically 11's mom at this point.
Also, that's really confusing, too, because she's still with Papa and Dr. Owen.
Yeah. I got a headache.
Yeah. No, the show gives me a headache, but it's so good.
So good. That plot twist is wild.
Yes.
Do we want to talk about theories?
I have about 0.
Okay, me either.
I'm curious. I know we said that Vecna chooses his victims based on grief.
Or, like, things haunting them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think how that ties into Henry's backstory, though.
It's so hard. I don't know. Because, like, also, like, why did he pick Patrick? We don't know anything really. Oh, no, Patrick's being abused. It's mentioned briefly. Lucas says, like, oh, I noticed him one day come in with a black eye. He just said he, got hit by a door. I should have realized something else was going on. Like, just things
like... missed that.
So, like, it's so... I don't know. It's like, is he just picking it because of that? Or, like, is there... a thing. Maybe he's like picking them by grief because they'll be weak to him, and then he can kind of create like an army.
Maybe. I mean, he's definitely feeding off them.
Yeah. Maybe he's like, you know what? Maybe it's kind of like how we said like Freddy Krueger was inspired this season, like Nightmare on Elm Street. And I think when he kills, he gets a lot of power from the fear. And like if they're not afraid of him, he has no power. So I think that's kind of what Vecna's is. Like, these people are obviously terrified.
Yeah.
So like he gets that power from them, and that's why when Max is like, you're not real, she's able to get away because he has no power when she realizes that.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
No, that does. I feel like it was also briefly mentioned something about he becomes more powerful with every soul that he takes or life he takes, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember if Henry himself says that or if like maybe Dustin does.
It probably was Dustin because every single demon in this show is a D&D character, which
yeah.
D&D.
Yeah. But it's kind of saving them, so.
True. Maybe we should start playing D&D.
Just
in case.
Wanted.
Me too.
just because I'm like curious because there's a lot of things going on and I know nothing about D&D.
I mean, but did you see the book that Lucas gave Erica? Well, you don't remember, but he gave her a book and it was just part 1 and it was like this big of the rules of D&D, and I'm like, maybe I don't want to learn.
No. Never mind.
I have some pretty nerdy cousins. Maybe they could teach me.
They probably could. But I'm also really curious of why we're stuck in 1983 and not 1979 when
why are they so
was
fixated on the day Will disappeared?
Yeah.
It's so like, I don't know. I don't know how they come up with this. I don't know how they're gonna end the show. We've only got 1 season left, and I have no idea how they're gonna wrap up anything.
I mean, my only guess is they're going to try to destroy the entire Upside Down, which I don't even know how you begin
which they've tried to
start
do
that.
1,000,000 times.
Yeah, but they gotta like somehow legit blow it up. But does that take out the whole world then? Or like Hawkins itself? I wonder if there's an Upside Down outside of Hawkins. Like if you travel to the border of Hawkins, would it just end?
What if they just like are really taking from horror movies and they pull an It where when they like destroy Pennywise's house, it destroys their town? Like, what if that's what happens when they destroy the Upside Down and destroys Hawkins?
That'd actually be insane. I mean, what if they could do that with just do Henry Hill's house?
True.
Because, oh my god. If they destroy Henry Hill's house, would that kill Vecna?
I think that's where he gets most of his power, so probably.
That's where, like, he lives.
Yeah. I also wonder, like, would Elle make that ultimate sacrifice and, like, destroy the Upside Down while she's in it, kind of pull, like, a Lost situation?
I hope not.
I hope not either.
That'd be, like, really depressing, actually.
Or maybe she can do it, but then she actually makes it out.
Maybe.
Although she can move stuff with her mind, so she can throw a bomb in there.
True. But then they also have to make sure all the gates are closed. I don't even know how you close a gate. Well, we've learned how to close gates, and it doesn't seem like that goes well.
Also, it takes all of Elle's energy.
Yeah. And there's 3 opened right now.
Although, no, never mind. They're all dead. I was going to say, what if she just gets all the people from the lab? And I'm like, nope. They did.
Well, 9 wasn't.
Oh, if she comes back. Like, she was fine. Well, I don't want another one of those episodes.
Well, if Papa's still around, he could have another lab somewhere.
That would not surprise me.
Nope.
I also just wonder now that Elle kind of knows the secret behind her power, like maybe that would help her.
True.
They could pull a Riverdale and give everybody powers.
Please no.
My brain feels numb.
Yeah, no, this honestly.
We should have done this in 2 parts just because of how mindfucked I feel right now. It's not
I know.
that long though. It's only 2 hours. It'll
I
probably
know,
be
but it
shorter because I
feels
have to cut
longer.
stuff.
I don't know. I'm
Because we've been
sure
recording since 8 o'clock.
that too.
Because we
Didn't know how to do
since
it.
8 o'clock, so we haven't even freaking started.
Yeah. But like I'm sure we also like missed some things, and we say like every episode's a mess. This one's 1,000% a mess.
Yeah.
Because there's just I thought there wasn't a lot going on until we started talking about it. I'm like, oh no.
Well, we're both like, oh yeah, there's not a lot that happens with the California crew, and then we spent a lot of more time than I expected talking about the California crew.
I'm like, yeah, they're in California. But then I realized, like, oh wait, they're not really in California because like they keep moving.
Yeah. Yeah, but we will be covering Volume 2, obviously.
Yeah. Once again,
maybe
that might have to be in 2
maybe
parts.
we'll have some sick Hellfire shirts by that time.
I hope so. I want a Hellfire shirt so bad.
Stranger Things, David Harbour, if you guys see this, can we have Hellfire shirts? Can you tell us where to buy them?
I'm sure they will be mass produced soon.
Oh, 100%. But I want one.
So
and if they come with Eddie, that's even better.
Yes. I love Eddie. I love everyone on this show.
I know. There's no one really. Well, no, I dislike Mike, but
he's
Mike kind of sucked this season.
Yeah.
He's always he sucked in season 2 too.
He did. He's very selfish.
Yeah.
Sorry
to any Mike fans. Be a Joyce fan. That's where it's at.
Excuse me, Miss Wheeler fan, which I've now found out that multiple people don't like. But yeah, man, I have zero theories of what's going to happen. I just don't think they're gonna kill Vecna.
No, I think they gotta keep that going.
Yeah.
Like, I can never have theories for this show.
Oh no.
Like, if you had told me what this season was gonna be about, I couldn't have told you.
I thought Vecna was gonna be Barb.
Wyatt, my brother, thought it was gonna be Billy.
Oh man, that would have been good too. Oh, but kind of sad. It's like Max.
Yeah, it kind of would have made sense though.
But I mean, the twist that
I wish it was Barb.
Barb would have been so good. Like, I'm still justice for Barb. Like,
yeah. Is there any chance she can come back to life?
You know, I was thinking that too. If they
kill the Upside Down, can they bring back all the people?
Yeah, if they kill Vecna and get rid of the Upside Down, like, will people come back to life?
I hope so.
I feel like it could happen.
I can see that.
Because technically,
they only died in the Upside Down.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yes, they did die, but they died in the Upside Down.
And also, if the time is stuck, did they really die?
That's very true, too.
Oh, we're on to you. We know what you're doing. You can have the idea for $1. Not even. You can have it for free. Yeah. Give us back Barb.
Honestly, though.
And don't let her be friends with Nancy. Nancy's a bad friend.
Trash. She should be friends with Robin. Oh my god, why would I ship Ethel and Robin?
Barb.
Because I was thinking about Riverdale. Wow. Okay, I know. Barb and Robin.
Wow, this actress really gets nothing in both of these shows. She is treated like trash in both.
She needs to be booked on better shit.
You want to be on our podcast, Shannon? You can come.
Oh my god, Shannon, please. I was like on Justice for Barb since like season 1 because she deserves not so even mentioned ever again. So rude. Yeah. So rude.
Is that all? Do we think we've covered it?
Probably not, but I can't think anymore.
I know. I genuinely have a headache.
Yeah, I'm like exhausted from talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we having an episode next week?
I don't know. There might not be an episode next week. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think we will.
I
'Cause
mean,
we won't.
very well could.
I'd have to edit it though,
Oh, true.
and that takes a while. So maybe we're just gonna take a hiatus
For 1 week.
next week, but it's gonna be worth it when we come back.
Yes.
Also, our first episode back is gonna be. Is it gonna be Jurassic World? It's gonna be Jurassic World Dominion. So yeah, if you're not a Jurassic Park fan or you've never seen the movies, just go watch it right now. Like, finish this episode and then go watch them in preparation.
And if you listen to our most anticipated shows and movies of the year, this was number 1.
This is literally number 1. I'm
that.
stoked. I'm stoked.
I get all my faves back.
We get Laura Dern, we get Jill Goldblum, we get Sam
Neill.
Neill. Sorry, Sam. Yeah, but definitely that's what our next episode is going to be. But I don't think we're going to have an episode this week just because we don't have anything recorded.
Yeah, no, 0 time. Sorry.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you.
But it'll be worth it because I think we're going to have a few, like, prepared. Hopefully, if all goes well. We'll talk about it. But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Enter the Fangirls. Keep up with us on social media. Our Instagram and YouTube are Enter the Fangirls, and our Twitter is Enter Fangirls. And my brain is not working.
Neither is mine. I'm about to go to sleep. Make sure you follow us on wherever you listen to your podcast, and we can't wait for you to join us in our next episode. Once again, I'm Lexie.
I'm Sam, and this has been Enter the Fangirls.